Hey guys, welcome to Fulton Street Beats. Got a lot of audio issues. We have a new audio interface on the way, so bear with me with this episode. And I felt that I needed to talk about some of these guitars because you're not getting a demo of a lot of these things. So I want to give you a little bit of a demo. And as you saw, this was an unboxing of the Donner that I'm really pleasantly surprised with. Now I do have to clean up a couple frets, but as far as the height of the frets go and fret buzz, there is zero. It's just a little sprouting on the side, and it's probably because it's been sitting around and the fretboard shrunk a tad bit, or the edges of the neck. So not a big deal. It sounds great. I mean, when I plugged it in, I was like, holy cow, that sounds really, really good. And get this, it was I want to say it cost, I think it was $144, something like that to me. So how can you go wrong? And it's a beautiful guitar, and it plays good. It stays in tune. It's one of those, you can't, people say, is it a good beginner guitar? Well, hell yeah. I mean, it's a great beginner guitar, but it's a great guitar all the way around. It'll give you the sound that you want to get. I mean, if you're going to put down a backing track or anything, nobody's going to know what this is for sure. I mean, if you want to go high dollar and for a name, then go for it. But this plays really nice. And that's, I'm forgetting I'm playing a Donner. I'm forgetting it, and I'm like, wow, that's really crazy. But the fret edges are a little sharp, and you got to be careful if you do bends. You can get it caught over. So not a deal breaker. And I know they're not all like this, so that just tells me the neck shrunk a little bit in, and probably due to being colder like it has been. So, but it's the intonation's great. The action's almost perfect on it. The pickup sounds so good. And the tuners work good. So you can't ask for more. Now, the sound I'm bringing you is going to have a little buzz to the back of it. It's because my audio interface is going up. I got a new one on the way. Be here in a few days. And that's also a Donner. Donner has one out, and I wanted to try it out. And wasn't very expensive. So I think it was right around $80. So we'll see, because, you pay $200-300 for an good audio interface, and they go up. I got 3 of them that have went up now. So we'll give Donner a shot. So you guys, you saw the Hotone amp. And these are 5-watt amplifiers, and they're really clean power. They crank, man. 5 watts, but it's all clean. They sound good. This is old school sound. So, and that's why I got this. The purple wins after the Marshall Plexi. And that's what it's supposed to sound like. And it does. It really does. And you can power some big speakers with these. You can power 412s. Now, it's not going to be crank. You're not going to crank 412s, but it's going to give you really good, usable sound. And if you're miking up your cabinet, or your sound guys running to this is going to give you really, really, really good sound. You can't ask for more. And look how portable. Can you imagine showing up for a gig and go, hey, I'm here to rock and roll, baby. Hook me up. And what funny, right? But they do that. They're just that good. And I was really skeptical, and I was skeptical even after I got, and this is the Freeze B that I'm running through right now over here, this green one. And it worked so good. I was like, okay, we got to get one a month. We're going to try one a month. I want to have them all. So I wait till I find them a really good deal. This was $57. This one over here, the purple one, was $67. I prefer the sound of the Freeze B because it's heavier. It's more, it's pretty, it's like a Friedman amp, an old Friedman, a really high end. It's supposed to be designed after, and it's got that fuzz on it, and it's got a nice, here, let's give you, it's just got a nice old school, old school tone. If you hear that humming, that's because of my audio interface, guys. It is a cool sounding rock and roll amp. Not huge gain, but rock and roll gain, It's just, you could do blues, you could do rock, you could do metal without going overboard. It chugged. It is just a cool amp in general. So let's, how do I say this? So we were doing backing tracks. Started doing a back. Guys like my last backing track that I did when I was demoing this, and that's just one. I'm kind of working on it. I stole a little bit of it from YouTube, but then I kind of make it my own a little bit. I'm basically just using it for the drums because my kit is down. It's over in the corner. I got all my kits are taking a back seat right now because of my love for guitars right now. And yes, you guys know I'm a drummer. But it's all taking a back seat because I'm trying to make, I got so many guitars now, it's insane. So I'm not laying down backing tracks like I was before with the drums. So I kind of took some, but there's nothing left of it. I'm kind of changing everything around. So I wish I could give credit to a particular backing track, but I've changed it so much it's really not anymore. But I'm trying to make them a little, my own. Drinking out of a Christmas cup still. I don't know. My wife thought that was funny because I'm so bah humbug. Anyhow, I'm going to take that regular backing track today, and I'm just going to jam to it. Hopefully we don't catch any copyright strikes. I'm going to take the regular one. We're going to jam to it. I'm trying to blend this out a little bit. My goal today is to demo a few of these guitars, just basically using the intro to this backing track, so you can hear how it blends and how they sound, the difference in the guitars with the exact same setting. So we're going to use each guitar is going to be in the treble mode, and we're going to crank the volume up on them. We're going to run through the Freeze B. So our settings are this. We have our bass at about 3 o'clock. We have our middle at about 2 o'clock. And then we have our treble all the way up, and we're going to rock our gain on this. So the gain's all the way up. The volume on this, I'm going to have to turn it down. So let's see what we got here. To blend it, I'm going to... So that might do it. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so let's run this thing and see what we got. If we got to play around with it a little bit, we'll play around with it. And who knows what we can do here. And I like to come in with this little here. Simple. Little squeal in there. Then nice squeals. You see that? I mean, it's just that's what I like about this amp. That's what I'm digging about it. Very cool, right? And you can break into some leads. Now this is a backing track, so it does not have a lot of, unless you're laying down a rhythm behind it, which I'm going to be doing here shortly. Like I said, I mix it up. I'll lay a rhythm in, and then we'll lay like a lead over it where we go. You can play anything you want over it with a lead, but then in the behind with a lead. So it's cool, and you can just experiment simple pentatonic scales with it, you know. So it's a simple backing track, and I think if we keep it simple, I'm a horrible guitar player anyhow, but if we keep it simple, you can get an idea of what these things, each one sounds like. So that gave you a little idea there, and I'm not going to go any farther than that. But this is the Donner, and I think it's a really cool guitar, and it sounds good, right? It's a heavy sounding guitar too. So what is my heaviest sounding guitar? Well, depends on the tuning, of course. My heaviest sounding guitar is the Les Paul that I'm beating the shit out of, the Les Paul that I built that I beat the shit of. It's my experiment guitar now. I drill into it. I beat it up. I change things around. I change wiring. I change pots. I do everything that I can do to beat this guitar up. It's my experiment. I even cut the pick guard the other day to fit the Firefly, and I put it back on, and now there's gaps in this and the pick. It's crazy. It's got the cheapest ass tuners I could find on it. Used to have all the best of everything on it, but the pickups in it are amazing, and they were the pickups that came with a kit, and I wax potted them. It's probably the best sounding guitar that I have, and it blows my mind. So I'm going to give you an idea of that guitar and how those pickups. You swear they're PAFs. You just swear they're PAFs. I mean, even better. It's crazy. Let me grab it, and we'll play it in a minute. So this thing's probably not even in tune. This is funny. So I literally have experimented. I put up a different bridge on here. It's like a shitty bridge because I was robbing parts off of it to go to other stuff because the parts on this were all really super good. So I've got the cheapest tailpiece, a bridge that I put wax in to keep it from rattling. Okay, it's junk. I found the old shittiest knobs I could. This is not fitting properly anymore because now I've made it to fit the Firefly 338 when I want to run it. And it's going to go on the Firefly, but I got some other gold parts that are going on first so it doesn't all clash. But as far as the pots and these pickups are awesome. And what makes it so great is I built this guitar, so the action and the fretwork is really, really good, and it makes for probably the best playing guitar that it's just one of those things. And it's a pile. I mean, it's a pile. I put a Gibson logo on it. It says custom shop on the back, and it has cheap Chinese tuners. It did have Geikers. It did have the best of everything on it. It's my experiment guitar. If I want to experiment with wiring to get a different sound, this is what I do it with. But this is the way this is wired right now, and I got the diagram over here. I forget what it is now. I wired it after an old Gibson, a really old one. And, man, does it sound good. Now, this one, I got to admit, guys, the fret job on this and the neck, and this is set up perfectly. It's probably out of tune. And you notice we don't get the static as much as with this. It's electronics in this are really good. And keep in mind, I haven't changed any settings on the amp. This is just a heavier guitar. And see that? No microphonic feedback. Nothing, right? Nothing in that. So, let me pull back here. I don't want you to... I'm going to cover the mic in case you're picking up something from the mic. Because I wax potted them. All right. So let's try that same introduction. We'll keep it at the same volume, everything. This is just a higher output, so if it's overbearing, I apologize. But crazy. Crazy, right? It's just it's a cool sounding guitar, and it's so much heavier. It is a heavy sounding guitar. So now what does the other one sound like? So we kept the volume, keeping it kind of the same on this stuff. So yeah, that's my beat up relic. I called it a relic at first. Now I just call it the beater. It's the beater, man, and it sounds the best. But you can't probably see the action on this thing, but the action's incredible. And it's just a cool guitar. My beat around guitar, I don't care about it. If it breaks, oh well. But at the same time, it's cool. I just put new strings on it, not even new ones, old strings on it. Last night it was sitting there in pieces, and I said, let's string it up and see if the old girl sounds what it used to. And man, does it. So yeah, it's just my go-to. Let's grab another. Now, this is my new favorite guitar. And I got this from Brandon's Custom Shop. And this is molded. Basically, this looks just like a 1956 Gibson Custom. And it plays like one. Holy shit, this guitar is awesome. Except the difference is this is not relic. It's not beat up. There's no chips in the paint. I mean, it looks like a brand new Gibson, but it's not a Gibson. Beautiful neck. All mahogany. It's just amazing. Fast, thin neck. Awesome Kluson tuners that hold to, not just looks, but hold also. Sounds good. P90s, full-size pots, amazing frets. This guitar has the best frets. Let me think if I got anything with better frets. Maybe the Gem in this are, as far as frets. This thing's amazing, though. The Gem's a whole different animal, but man, these rock and roll guitars like this is just so cool. So let's put this amp on here, and this is treble mode. Okay, I got in trouble. Well, everything would be in trouble, right? Okay. It is a cool sounding guitar, right? Old school. It is just a cool. This is my favorite, by the way. It's my favorite. It's like the perfect blend. I never knew I was a P90 fan until I got this guitar. And this guitar does, you guys know, jazz really well. It cleans up good. It is fun. It is fun. I'm a shitty guitar player, but it's fun. Let's play this one and see the difference here. Ooh. Old school. So cool, right? Another cool one. And you guys, I don't know how these sound individually to you. To me, to my ears, this is the best sounding one. Or the other one's a little heavier, but this is, I don't know, it's that P90 sound, but at the same time, it depends on what you're running through, right? I mean, if we run this, we get cool sounds running through the Purple Wind. You know what? Why don't we do that? Let's do that real quick. So I'm going to run this through the Purple Wind, and you'll see the old school Marshall sound here. So, just it's a cool sounding amp. It really is. I don't know what you'd say. I think this would really benefit with a pedal. It's got that old AC/DC sound to it. Right? Remember that beginning of Night Prowler? That's what it sounds like. Something off a Highway to Hell, but it needs a little bit something more to it. How's it go? Something like that. Anyhow, it's kind of got that feel to it, but I'm no Angus Young. So, that is that one. So let's move along and run over and grab. You want the Firefly? Let's grab the Firefly, see what we can do with that one. Okay, here's the Firefly 338. Yes, okay. So I got the gold picker that's going to be going on this. I did have it on. I mocked it up, took a picture of it. I think I put it in one of the community tabs. As you can see, we have a gold bridge on it, roller bridge, and I got a gold tailpiece over here. When I restring this, which will probably be today, I'm going to put some slinkies on it, 9 to 42 slinkies, regulars, and when I do that, I'll change this bridge over to the gold one. So let's try. I haven't tried this through this amp, to tell you the truth. This is a beautiful sounding guitar. Problem. Pickups are wicked. Wicked. I don't know if you can hear it right now, but you can hear this. Really microphone. You know, I feel like I'm in an X-Wing fighter and I'm communicating with other people with other X-Wing fighters. Roger, Orcs. It's weird grabbing different guitars and playing these different necks because they're all got a little bit different shape to them. But this one shines. We're going to go back to the Freeze-B because they all shine with the Freeze-B. Right, Freeze-B is my favorite. But I'm going to own them all because you never know what you need them for. Make sure everything's off here. Let's go back. And by the way, guys, this is the Freeze-B. There's the little Freeze-B by Hot One. You can call it Hotone, but it's really Hot One. Turn her on. A little out of tune. That's okay. Let's do the backing track. And you can hear. Can you hear this? You can hear this now. So I can broadcast and play. But it's still a great sounding guitar. I just got a wax bottom. Cool, right? This is where microphonic feedback works. Rock and roll, and not being too close to the amp, because it makes it touchy, it makes it squeal. So, there is that one. And this is a fun one to play. And if I smiled a little bit with this one, it's because it's a fun rock and roll guitar. It's fun to play. Plays like butter. It's fantastic. And that hollow body, I don't know, just it's got a nice perfect weight to it. And it's fun to rock and roll on. And it's probably my second favorite guitar, which is retarded, right? Then we got the Gem, and I love my Gem. And most people hear that and go, that's the best. And they think, I guess hearing is subjective, but there's a lot of money in that guitar. So let's grab the Gem that there's about $1,200-$1,300 in and see what that sounds like. That's better. More articulate. Anyhow, that's this one's a little hotter in my headphones, so it's hard for me without adjusting anything. I think I got to turn stuff down. I don't feel very well. Anyhow, that's the Gem, and you guys have heard me do like. I got to get used to that again. Okay, so that is the Gem. An out-of-tune Gem. And then we have the guitar that I like to refer to as Samuel L. Jackson. That's right. This is Samuel L. Jackson. And the reason I call it that is because it's one bad motherfucker.
Go in that
That's
bag.
Right. In fact, I think I'm going to have it stamped right on the back. Bad mother. All right. So,
it's the one that said bad motherfucker.
This is a hot ass pickup guitar. Help if I took the other pick out. All right, let's check this thing out here and give it a quick run through the beginning. We could fade this one in. That's what I like about this one. Let's come in. Oh, that's right. So, that is that one. Start over again. That's Samuel L. Jackson. Now, keep in mind, we're doing this with no changes to any amps or anything. So, the sound's going to be a lot better with different things. And so, it's just a cool Samuel L. Jackson.
Bad motherfucker.
Really cool guitar when it's tuned to drop D and drop C. That's where it shines. Doesn't shine in this rock and roll department, but it does in the drop tunings. And this is Mr. Stevie Ray Vaughan, and every single time I grab this guitar, I go, ugh, because I think it's the heaviest guitar that I have. And which surprised me because I thought it would be a lightweight because it's a Glarry. But I have shaved the neck on this, and I put a Fender logo on it. Isn't that cool? And we got the SRV. We have a left-handed trim on it, a actual Fender, Wilkinson pickups, and this guitar sounds like a Stratocaster. That's what it sounds like. And that's what it sounds like. It sounds like a Strat. So in every position, it's just got a Strat. That Wilkinson sound good. Decent frets. Not my favorite guitar because I'm not a Strat guy, but it does the blues well. Keep in mind, we're plugged. If this is plugged into a clean amp, it makes you play the blues. This amp, right? Remember, we haven't touched. This is the Freeze B, and we haven't touched anything. But let's see how it does. It doesn't sound bad, guys. It doesn't. It really doesn't. Let's give it a try here. So, anyhow, I'm just messing around, guys. It's a good sounding guitar, though, right? Surprised me. This was ordered factory. And when I say word, I got it from Glarry for $78. It come with Wilkinsons. I offered it. It was on Reverb, and I offered it, and they took it. It's just crazy, right? But I do have money, of course, and I had the route out for the left-handed trim. As far as upgrading anything into the guitar, I haven't. It's got the original pots, original pickups. I just changed the covers. I haven't changed the tuners. The only thing I did was put some of the gold highlights around the ends of the tuners, and I shaved the neck because I simply could not play it with that big fat baseball back neck. So I shaved it down, and man, it's a good playing guitar. If you want the sound of a Strat, it's a Strat sound for sure. It plays like butter. It really does play like butter, and it does have really good frets. I didn't have to do the frets on this. I antiqued the fretboard, and that's why it looks that way. And I love the look. And it's a fun guitar to play. It's just not for everything, but it's cool. It's cool. It does jazz well too. It really does jazz. I got some. I have to set up my my action on this bridge a little better on some of these up here because I'm deadening out a little bit. And I just put this on not too long ago, and I really haven't messed with it since. So I got to get my intonation correct on it, but it doesn't sound bad. So that sums it up. So we got the jazz box, but that's over here in parts again and pieces, because that's going into lacquer here in the next couple days. So I had to get everything ready and masked off and ready for that, because everything was playable, and I think you guys seen that guitar, but it wasn't ready for the final coat of lacquer, and it's about to get that, and as well as a custom logo on the headstock and stuff. And that's a beautiful guitar by Guitar Kit World. So really cool. I have I'm not going to go into these smaller guitars over here, but the pink one up there, we upgraded that on a video. Then we have my daughter's Mitchell right here, which doesn't need anything. The guitar is just a phenomenal short scale guitar. It's really fun to play, and it sounds heavy as shit. And we got the bass over here. We got 4 or 5 more guitars upstairs, but I'm not going to go up and grab those. They're kind of put away. Those are, the expensive ones, the really expensive ones. So I don't keep them out. My studio gets cold sometimes, so I keep them more climate controlled. But I'm going to be honest with you, out of everything that I got, I have guitars that maybe we'll break them out sometime, that are up there in price. And then back when I just bought them to buy them, because I was, impressionable, and you think that's, you're younger, and that's the best. And then I come to find out, and I can buy a $300 guitar that blows them away. And that's just crazy. But that's the way it is today. And, like I said, though, sound is subjective. But when you find the one that you want and that feels the best to you, that's the one for you. I'm not a name person. I used to be. And then I realized the names mean nothing. And it's about what you feel. And as a new guitar player, and I'm just starting out, I'm a new guitar player. I'm a drummer since I was 4 years old. And I'm a new guitar player, but I love it. And I build drums. I build custom drums. So I've done that for years. And it has been my bread and butter for a long time. And now getting into building guitars, because they're art. And a lot of people say, well, you're not real good at playing guitar, so what makes you think you can build them? And my answer is this: just because you drive a car don't mean you can build one, right? It was the same way. Astronauts go to the moon, but they don't build the rockets. I am a builder, and that's what I do. I know how things work, how things go together. So just because I can't play very well, don't assume that I don't know quality and how to build them. So that's all we got to say about that. Thanks, guys, for watching Fulton Street Beats. I want to give a couple shout-outs to a few subs out there that stand by me pretty good, and they're just awesome people, and they got some cool channels too. I want to give a shout out to I think is it 1976 Elvis Pretzel. I think it is Elvis Pretzel. If you're watching, thanks, brother. You got a cool new channel there. I watch you all the time, and I love your enthusiasm. I think it's fantastic, man. That's the kind of stuff I love to see. I want to give a shout out to the Bald Shredder. If you guys haven't checked out these channels, I suggest you do. They're cool. Give them a shout. Give them a sub. And tell them Fulton Street Beats sent you, and because they're cool channels. They're wicked cool channels. There's another channel I've been watching, and it's a channel called Into the Studio. It's just a couple guys that sit on their couch and they review some guitars, and it's just a couple guys who like to be honest and do it, and you tell they enjoy it. And I subbed them. I liked them. Really cool. Two Bike Mike. There's another one. He's a gentleman. I think he's in Canada, and he does a lot of work on his guitars and the low budget guitars. And he really makes them the best that they can be, and he does a really good job. He knows what he's doing, and I watch him all the time. That's another one. Of course, we have our other channels that have, that you don't need mentioning because they have such a big following. But these are the channels that I really watch a lot of. I like watching smaller channels grow too. And hopefully we can all grow together and have a huge, awesome community where we can rely on each other for low budget guitars that have some quality, that maybe with a little bit of setup work can perform just like expensive guitars. And that's what I found out very quickly, is that these budget guitars really, with some setup and some without, perform just as good or better as guitars that cost thousands of dollars. And if you really want something done right, always remember, do it yourself. With that, thanks a lot, guys. Hit that like button, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you soon. And remember, it's rock and roll that makes the world go round.